Zisman. I'm Liam's dad. And I welcome you all to the LIAMforum, which now is being watched in over 50 countries around the world, which is quite wonderful. I want to introduce my fellow panelists here, Dr. Liette Vasseur and Dr. Ejaz Ahmed, who have, together with other members of the Brock team, have helped put together this conference, which include Virginia David, who you can see on the screen, who has helped on the technical side, and Justin Sid, who is hiding somewhere behind those mountains on the screen, but he is very much there, ready to help us. It's a wonderful conference, and it fills an important gap. How do we connect the important need to develop sustainably our natural resources with engaging young people to take charge of those developments, to do it in a sustainable, values-driven way? The industries desperately need them, but young persons are not attracted generally to these industries because of media, because of disasters that have happened in the mining sector and other sectors. But today, there are enormous opportunities for young people in different occupations, from zoology to anthropology, through mining, through environmental science, through agricultural science, and every other specialization in between, to get involved and to be part of fixing the world, helping the world go to a better place. We have many speakers from many occupations, also based around the world, very senior positions, some in junior positions, but all of them share the desire to communicate to you that you are needed, that we take your values seriously, that we want to show you career paths that are rewarding and fulfilling and meaningful to the world. And with that, I'm going to pass the microphone to the Dean of the Math and Science faculty at Brock, Professor Ejaz Ahmed.
Okay, thank you, Raziel, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know which part of the world you are joining us. So first of all, I would like to thank the participants, especially coming from my LinkedIn group. And it's amazing that more than people from 50 countries and a quite number of students, as Raziel mentioned, are participating. So let's just give you a little bit background and how come I got involved as a statistician myself. So I think time passes so fast. A few months ago, I mentioned about LinkedIn. I got a message on my LinkedIn from Raziel. And then we talked about it right after we have a telephone conversation. And when Raziel mentioned about his son, his interest, and then taking the message to young people, I could not resist. At that moment, I said, we will be participating. As you know, this is the event of Faculty of Math and Science, sponsored by Faculty of Math and Science, and many faculty members from Math and Science are involved, as well people from the Brock University and other places. So this is a wonderful opportunity for us to connect with younger people. That's what, when Raziel mentioned to me, this is what the reason he wants to do it, I says, I'm all for it. And then it's just two of us start working on it, and then the many other people joined us. So I think, as Raziel mentioned, you know, it's the optics is everything. So, and who is going to change the optics? Nobody's going to change the optics. We have to change the optics. You know, sometimes the scientist comes and tell me, oh, the administration doesn't understand this thing. Of course they don't understand it. They are not scientists. Or some of them may be, but not all of them. So it's whose problem? It's our problem to make them understand what's going on. So I think I take full responsibility for this thing, that as a scientist, we should be able to explain to our younger generation, AI is very good, you know, lots of good jobs, lots of good money, but mining, you know, not everybody wants to be HBO, I call home box office. You know, some of us like to go outside, but because of the misperception about mining and even all some other disciplines, we are not able to connect the students. So I think this is a golden opportunity for you will have 4 or 5 days forum. The speaker will be talking about it. And the science play, especially basic science, whatever my faculty is based on department on basic science, play fundamental roles in the mining. So you need so for younger students, coming from high school, you have to engage in some of the science programs. And then and mining, we can make it safe mining. We can do a sustainable mining. We can do anything we want, but we have to come out. So with these words, I will stop here, and we have other panelists here to give them opportunity to speak out. So Raziel, back to you.
Thank you very much, Ejaz. Liette is, I'm so impressed by her. We were introduced a few weeks after we started working with Ejaz, and she is an amazing resource in terms of knowing people in the sustainability field around the world. Both Ejaz and Liette are very modest people with tremendous individual achievements. But before I transfer the microphone to her, one thing we need to do is to show our viewers that we were at one point in our lives 18, 19, 20, and didn't have much of a clue, had not much of an idea which way we were going our careers. And I want her to start her comments by going back to her place at that age, and what thoughts she had then, what ideals she had then, and whether her ideals have kept true to this day. Thank you, Liette.
Thank you very much. So going back to when I was a kid, I should say that first of all, I grew up on a farm in Laval, north of Montreal, and so I grew up between cabbage on one side and corn on the other side. We had a farm, so we had sheep and goats and chicken, so and a greenhouse with chrysanthemum, because my father, my grandfather, uncle were all florists. So that's how I started. And at that time, I remember very well in high school that the counselor was always pushing me to become a surgeon. Should that be a medical doctor and a surgeon? And one thing that at one point I said to her, I don't like to work with people, because directly to try to fix them or anything like that, because I felt that people were selfish in some way. But however, I remember that one thing that I liked was exploring the woods, exploring everything. And I decided to go in biology. This is what made me, and I remember my mom especially was a little bit disappointed. And the first thing she said, "You're not going to work with bugs." So for her, it was decided that didn't work. And but yeah, I decided to go. And I should say, when I went to university, I didn't know at all what to expect, because I'm the first generation. There was nobody else in my family that went to university. So being the first, you don't know what to expect. And I remember my academic advisor, and I was at the University of Sherbrooke, where faculty member are the advisors. So each faculty member has a group of students to advise. And the professor, we were a couple with him, and he said, "Oh, you have to know that we do the bell curve, so try to always stay with close to the mean. If it's 60, try to be at 60. Don't go too low," and all that kind of stuff. So I said, "Okay, we'll try." And I to say that it was an exploration at the time, and you don't know at that point what you want to do and all that. But it just, meeting people, meeting professor that give you the encouragement and everything. And it started even in high school, that I have a chemistry teacher. She was wonderful. And she really pushed me the same. In fact, two women, one was a math teacher and the other was a chemistry teacher. And they were the ones that really encouraged me and really pushed me to do what I'm doing. And it becomes a passion at that point. But you still have to explore. I didn't know that I wanted to go to ecology. So one summer, I work in plant physiology, for example. And the professor at the time told me, if you want to explore, go and check another lab. If you want to spend a morning in the animal ecology lab or something, just so that you explore other places. And it really helped me by the end to figure out what I wanted to do.
Wonderful. In this forum, we are covering many areas, not just mining, but with Liette sits on a number of panels, so does Ejaz. Can you mention some of the subjects that we're covering at the forum?
Yes,
Ejaz or Liette, go ahead.
Yeah, but probably, but today we have one on women. There will be one on biodiversity and desertification. There's one on restoration, because when we look at natural resources, we are talking mining, but we're talking also agriculture, forestry, fishing, but also all the other components that come after exploitation. And this is also very important. So there will be a lot of, I call that a buffet of different topics in some way.
Wonderful. Ejaz, any comments?
And in fact, the mining jobs are quite well paid off and very compatible. So the forum, which I commend Raziel, so putting this 5 days forum, because when we start talking it, I was not sure, maybe 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then it went to 5 days. And a host of topics, very useful topics, and people are coming from different dimensional. You will see people from industry, academic background, consulting, and all kind of things. And even, from myself as a statistician, you must be wondering what the statistician has to do with the mining. And just on the lighter side, I say I'm a miner. I do data mining, so it's a lots of mining there. But on the other hand, the people in mining, they will also require some training in statistics, because to predicting the human impact on the Earth system requires analysis of massive amount of data within the context how we believe the system operates. So there is after maybe you want to work 20 years on the side, then you want to come back to the office work. Since you have you have a feet on the ground, you understand the data better than somebody else like me. So the predictive modeling is quite important. And in the end, everybody collects the data. So as a statistician, I always say we are in the backyard of everybody. So the training in statistics, computer science, coding will be quite useful. Even myself, a few years ago, I work on the wind data. So with a couple of people about this predicting the winds. So these are all kind of the important subjects, and as I mentioned earlier, basic science plays an important role. After that, you can branch out wherever you would like to go. But biological sciences, now we call it has botany, zoology, ecology, you name it. Chemistry, earth sciences, we call it earth sciences. Before we used to call geology, which was more directly towards the mining and other things. And the mining is the future in a way. You will think, what a statistician is talking about mining. It is the future. We are going outer space. We are going to Mars now. So there is a mining going on the Mars. So how we can, if we have messed up the issue on Earth, we should have learned some lessons. So when we are going to the Mars, we have to be careful. We don't repeat our mistakes. So all this kind of, and it will be exciting opportunities for young people, going to Mars for doing mining and learning more about another planet than the planet of Earth itself. So this forum is quite beneficial, and I will urge all of you to attend as many as possible. I understand, 50 countries, 50 time zones, and may not be possible, but this is the investment of your time. So invest your time, maybe few less hours sleep, or maybe sleeping hours might be changed, but this is very important, and there are a host of topics, and many good topics are there. So I think once again I will commend Raziel for taking this initiative, and we were here to help him.
Ejaz, thank you very much for those comments. We also have panels with the government, because government makes regulations and has policies, and it's very important that they are supported by young people, by everybody, and that they're well crafted. So this is why we have a panel with the government. We also have a panel at the end of on day 5 with the person in charge of crafting Canada's sustainability policy for the next few years, and they'll present what they're doing. And what I would encourage the audience to do is provide feedback, because at the end of the conference, we will be discussing, so where do we go? We had a nice conversations during the week. We've raised a number of issues. What we would like to see is some initiatives for action, for people to get involved. And one of the initiatives is to see what programs can be created between governments, industry, and universities to help people understand better their paths towards careers, and to be supported not just through a summer call program, but in a very proactive way to get young people started in careers in various industries. So all these are discussions we'll be having this week, and hopefully we'll see some results. Minister Wilkinson, in his very thoughtful words, made reference to future LIAMforums. And I believe, based on the response we have had, not just in Canada, but worldwide, and not just from academicians such as Professor Ahmed and Professor Vasseur, but from people in industry. I'm in the mining business. I got acquaintances all over the world. People have realized there is a real gap in connecting with young people and listening to their concerns, addressing their values, and helping them embark on a career in the sustainable resources sector. There is a presentation by Gary Boles on the future of work. And Mr. Boles is a consultant that travels the world. And I encourage you to watch that presentation, because he very specifically addresses the beautiful fact that today's generation is very values driven. They want to get involved in fixing the world, and they do not want to sort of fit themselves into a job. They want a job to be a job that is meaningful, that allows them to actually be directly involved in fixing the world. So it's a dynamic week with lots of ideas. We hope to have lots of input from the audience, and I very much look forward to how things evolve. Liette, would you like to add some more comments, please?
Well, probably one thing that I'm hoping that the participants are going to take also from there, talking to several of the people who will be in these panels, is the importance of keeping the doors open, to keep the possibility of new adventure, new experiences. And you may be in one field, but you may have, change a few times in your life, and that it's not just you're in the place and you stay at the same place for the rest of your life. And I always tell my students that you have to remember that once you graduate, you will be working probably for the next 30, 40 years. If you don't like what you're doing, it will be hard to get up every morning.
Very, very, very true. It is it's a very important message. It will be tragic if people spend their life doing things that they did not like, did not enjoy, that were not true to themselves. And in today's economy, people, the important thing is to be values driven, to follow your instinct, to do what you like, to surround yourself with people with whom you share values, to do, and the opportunities in my life for myself, they keep on showing up, and the opportunities show up when you show up. You go there and you talk and you communicate to people what you want to do, and then doors somehow open. At the end of the LIAMforum, we will put together an electronic book with the contact details and other information, which will be a tool for young people to network, to throw some light into possible career paths, to learn some skills. We have a couple of panels on skills. We have a panel on mentoring and championing by people who spend their lives doing that with others, because this is something that it took me a long time to figure out. Nobody guided me on that. Mentoring and championing is important, but you sort of have to raise your hand or take the first step, and don't be afraid. If you notice somebody interested in an article or in media, write to them, let them know, and in most cases, people will reply. When I was an undergraduate last century, many years ago, I wrote to a Nobel. I was studying economics. I wrote to a Nobel Prize winner. And he wrote, actually, I got a physical 2-page letter handwritten by this gentleman, which really made an impression on me. People will spend a few minutes giving you advice or responding or guiding you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you have a dream, you have a thought, you want to work somewhere, write, get in touch with them, be proactive, and you'll be surprised by the results. Sometimes people will not respond. That's okay. It doesn't matter. You continue in your path and you'll find your way forward. Ejaz, any comments on that?
Yeah, I think I will pick one thing about networking. So you can be a top-notch scientist. You could be anything you want. But if you don't have networking and people don't know about you, then what good it is? So, for example, my grandmother used to say, a peacock dancing in jungle and complaining, how come nobody is watching me? I'm so beautiful. So, you have to come to the city if you want people to see you. So networking is very important, especially social networking through scientific. And I would say, I will ask all of you to join the LinkedIn. It's a very good place to do networking. So networking will take you can go mile by yourself, but by networking, you will go 5 miles. So people need to know about you, what you are doing. So it's a two-way traffic. People get benefits from you, and you can benefit the people. So with that point, I will stop here.
And I would like to ask an audience question that we've had come in. The audience would like to know, are there statistics proving that young people are less attracted to natural resource sectors? So I think they're interested in, what's the actual data on young people not jumping at the chance to work in the industry?
I can respond that I'm on the board of the PDAC, the Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada, and I've been in the mining industry for quite some time now. I constantly hear the people complaining they cannot find people to come in, and I can tell you from my experience with my own son, with Liam, young people do not find mining attractive, and for very understandable reasons. We have a panel on careers later this week, where the Mining Industry Human Resources Council will be present, and they will have data. And if the person that is asking the question, what we'll do, I will make sure that on that panel, that specific question is addressed. Anecdotally, I've been told, for example, that when young people apply to engineering schools, the mining engineering faculties do not get, are not part of the first choice of those young people. They want to go into mechanical engineering or civil engineering, and they will apply to mining engineering when they have not managed. I'm not saying in every case, but this is a direct comment I heard from one of the faculties, that it is not the favorite specialization for many engineering students. Which brings me to the following comment, and I'll ask Professor Ahmed to comment. Brock will be launching a very interesting integrated engineering program, which breaks the silos between the various specializations. To the result of which will be engineers will have a broader, a different set of skills than other faculties. Professor Ahmed, could you please comment on that initiative?
And it depends which part of the world or globe you are living in. Some parts has more demand for mining engineering than other parts. For example, Australia is more demand in mining engineering as ever. So in some places it could be less. But the problem is as I said earlier, we did not take our message clearly to students to let them know that it can be a wonderful profession, and it is a wonderful profession. I know a couple of people who when I was a student, a friend of mine was doing a master in geological science and mining engineering in Ottawa, and he really loves his job. They go around the country, around the places. If you like traveling, it's a bonus. So there is a demand from industry, but the question is the demand from students. We have to match, and this forum is for that reason.
For all those that are watching, I am very grateful that you are taking part in the forum. If you get a chance, spread the word among your colleagues. And as Liette and Ejaz said, this is a buffet. You can pick and select different dishes, get a taste. And one of the aims of the forum is to give young people an insight into very many areas, from ocean science to agribusiness, to agroforestry, through mining, through biosphere, biology. There are many paths open, and each of those we have panelists who are very strongly engaged with enthusiasm. Nobody has to wake them up in the morning to go to work. The nature of the work is one that is people really are eager to make a difference. To give you a short example for a few seconds, one panelist has a doctorate in forestry that he completed in New Zealand. He is a German gentleman. He's back in Germany, and his challenge now is to provide a value to nature in the raw. To what is the value of a native forest, for example, if you're going to develop something, or if you want to take it into account. And the idea is we will no longer take for granted nature as being free for us to use as we want. We want to understand and appreciate the importance of nature and make reasoned decisions as to how we progress, how we move forward. We have a beautiful world. We are becoming aware of what we need to do, but we need people to actually implement those policies. And those people are you, the audience. You will be doing this, and we want to help you find things that are exciting and of interest to you, where you in a few years' time will be in our position, helping the next generation face more advanced challenges. Thank you very much.